Go ahead.
Priming the pump practices. It is a hard, dry season, and for many, the only moisture at their reserve is their own tears. Is there any way to bring healing water into our soul desert at this time? Hi, I'm Dr. K.P. McKee, founder and executive director of a Spacious Place Creativity and Spirituality Center. As we walk through today's practices, we welcome your questions, your concerns, and your comments. And we're just going to dive right in with our supplies.
And hang on a second, because you're on your side. We're going to have to turn you this direction. Hate to do it.
Should we start over?
No, go ahead. Keep going. We just had slight technical difficulties.
Okay. For today's practices, you're just going to need some basic supplies. Laughter's always good. Some kind of writing utensil, whatever you like, and something on which to write. And it can be anything, from some loose leaf paper that you just have lying around the house. Maybe you have a spiral or a composition book that you would like to use. We even got this because someone sent us some Elton John swag, so if you want to really kick it up a notch. And the nice thing about these is that you can keep these things that we're going to do, and a year from now you can look back on them, and I think that will be good soul medicine too. So it has been raining here in Austin, but despite our rain, our souls can be parched in a crisis. Its danger and uncertainty can leach our souls dry. And the term for that soul dryness, is acedia, when the delights of our faith dry up and we just don't feel like doing anything, and we basically become spiritual couch potatoes. So we might just want to plop down on our tattered couch out here in the desert and just give up. And it's true that we all need being time from time to time, just to let it soak in and be real about what's going on. But giving into the desert deprives us of reaching our human potential. So we need some way to connect to some soul irrigation that brings living water out here to us in our desert. And it's not going to be a gusher, but it'll be enough to keep us alive and moving forward for as long as it takes. And one of those conduits for soul irrigation is to create. And this is something that's available to us all by the virtue of our humanity. And for some of us it may have fallen into disuse, so we're going to need to prime the pump a little bit. We don't ever grow out of our capacity to create. We're simply socialized out of it. So during this dry, hard season, let's make a commitment to pump priming so we can survive the desert for as long as it takes and as long as we're there in it. And of course you can do these practices on a computer. However, the gift of watching our unique hand, creating on paper something that is uniquely ours, is itself a restorative practice and some healing water. So we're going to do two practices today that are going to be good pump primers. So a great thing about these two practices are that they are going to connect us in our current situation with things we have done in our past and our creative past. So the first one you probably had some experience with when you were in school, and that is an acrostic poem. I'm going to put our poor couch potato over here to the side. And you probably did this with your name, where you wrote the letters of your name down the side of a piece of paper, and then to the side of it, for each letter, characteristics of your name, so you can get in touch with who you are. And today we're going to use it with letters that define what we are facing right now. So I'm going to just show you what I started with. So you want to go with a word that's not too long and doesn't have a lot of unusual letters in it. And this is where your thesaurus and dictionary come in. So for these, you can look through your thesaurus and find some words. Maybe you're thinking of something, but it's not any of the letters that you have. So you can go to your thesaurus and it will show you synonyms. You can also just troll through your dictionary, either online or hard copy, and find ways to do this as well. So the next step that you're going to take is to then find some words for each of those letters. So my poem reads, confusion, this is a confusing time, we're getting a lot of mixed messages. Real, whether we want to admit it to ourselves or not, this is a reality across our globe that we're going to need to deal with for some months and years to come. Illness, a lot of people around the world are ill right now. It's a time of soul searching. What are my values? What matters most to me? How do I cope through this? Isolation, obviously we're self-isolating, and there's also an isolation of illness.
Did you skip soul searching or did I miss it?
I said soul
Okay.
searching. And strength, and we're finding pockets of strength in unexpected places during this time. And then last, if you want to add some visual art to it, you can do some doodling on the side of your page here. And there's something centering about that. This is something that I used to do on my notes at school a lot. And so just give yourself permission to just feel free with it and fill it in any way you want. And you might want to do more than one of these once you get started. And then I would encourage you to keep it and store it somewhere. So that is one poem. And the other one is the Diamante Form. And a Diamante Form looks like a diamond. And in this diamond, you're going to start with a word that defines something about our situation today, what it is for you. It needs to be a noun. And then below that, 2 adjectives that describe the noun. And below that, 3 ing words that relate to the noun above. And then on our biggest line here, we're going to do 2 other nouns that are synonyms for the noun we just used. Then we're going to look at the top here and find its opposite. And this is where we tap into our childhood. When was the first time you learned the meaning of opposite? And maybe you want to just take a minute right now and either out loud say some or write down some opposites and how delightful it was to begin to understand a new term. So you're going to work backwards from here, and we're going to have this on our website. So if you don't get it right now, you'll get it. You can look at the templates there. And just like before, 2 adjectives, 3 ing words, and 2 nouns that relate to the noun that you had. And when you do this, you are going to start with where you are, and it may have to kind of work back and forth. The words may not come to you right away. And again, Thesaurus and Dictionary is a great resource for this. You can type in the word and it will give you synonyms for it, and then you can go down that rabbit hill of synonyms for the synonyms and all of that. The online ones are great for that, but the hard copies are great as well. So either way. And once you get it finished, just do it in whatever order is accessible to you. Take a moment and sit with it, read it out loud, and know that in writing this, you have imagined a different future than the current situation. And in imagining that new future, you have tapped in to the healing water of hope, because hope brings refreshment to our souls. And I'm going to just share with you the one that I wrote. Boredom, tedious, flat, isolating, enervating, frustrating. Lethargy, yawn. Action, vim, exciting, moving, enduring, vital, agile, vigor. So if you have found these practices helpful, we hope you will like it on Facebook. We're going to be here every week. The next one is April 26th at this time for soul practices to prime the pump, and we'll be doing them in different ways and trying to make them very accessible for you. So let us know if you have any suggestions or needs. We'd love to hear from you. And in the meantime, we invite you to rewatch this if you would like. You can do it on YouTube, Facebook, or on our Spacious Place site, www.aspaciousplace.com. And also on that site is a prayer wall where you can go on and make prayer requests or post prayers for persons during this difficult time. You can do it anonymously if you choose, and we will be checking in and responding to and supporting you with our prayers. So we hope that this has been helpful to you, and we would love to hear from you and how you are doing, however you're doing during this difficult time. So let's close with prayer. God, we are stuck in the desert right now, and we can feel hopeless, and we ask that you bring to us your living water so that we can move in the time that it takes out of the desert and into a new day with possibilities we can only imagine right now. Amen.